it's ridiculous. Like, they say that they want to be gay when everyone knows that they're straight, and it's ridiculous. You cannot hide that.
For me, I actually recently had an experience with this. My current ex, I was almost felt like I was forced to be on the down low. He knew that I was bisexual, but was incredibly offended and terrified whenever I would say something like, "Oh, wow, she is so gorgeous." He would just freak out, and I was not able to act like myself. I couldn't wear t-shirts or things that said gay pride because I was terrified of what he would think. And that sucked.
In response to what you just said, I would be offended also, and I guess it's only because you take on the role of being bisexual. But the fact of the matter, me personally, if you're with a man and I'm that man, I don't want to hear about you thinking that this lady is gorgeous when right about now you're in the heterosexual thing. I don't want to hear about that. So it depends on the maturity level of the person and what type of relationship you all have.
To say that personally, being in a relationship right now currently with someone or dating someone who is bisexual it's kind of harder because I know how to be in a relationship with a gay male. I know what to look for. I know that you look, but it's kind of hard for me. How do I compete with a female? But it's just kind of like you can't. It's kind of like
Roxanne says you can't.
I mean,
on my behalf, mine is kind of different. Mine is totally different. Okay. I have guys that are I'm married now.
She just told them.
But I have guys that approach me, and they're like the tough, rugged, tough type guys, But I'm like, when I'm like in the grocery store or whatever, they're looking and just giving me the eye, whatever, and I'll walk down the aisle and they'll walk behind me and they'll ask me, "You need help?" or something like that, and then they'll say, "What's your phone number?" And they'll say, have a piece of paper and they'll give me their phone number, and I'm like, okay. And then they'll go on another row. I don't want to say too much on the radio, though.
Roxanne, let me ask you this, and I want to ask you this before we go to commercial break, because I really want to have the chance to discuss in regards to hate crimes, but. When a man finds out that you are transgender, when there are straight men who you say approach you and they find out that you're transgender, do they still want to be with you?
It differs. Some guys, they already know. They just pretend they don't know and they'll talk to you, whatever. And then you'll tell them, well, I tell them right off, because once upon a time I didn't, and this guy, I didn't tell him, and he tried to kill me. And so that's another story for another show. But the guy tried to kill me. And so I learned from that experience, you don't do that. He literally tried to harm me. So myself, I tell them right away. And then they might get one. Okay, I'm going to give you a good example. I dated this guy once. I met at the bus station when I was younger. And he was a Navy guy. He was in the Navy. We were talking on the phone back and forth. We were sending each other's pictures. I was sending him pictures and stuff. This man did not know. And this man was so in love with me. So when he come to see me, we went out to eat one night. We went to churches, We went to churches, and you go up to the churches when the place is packed with people, And he was all over me, just kissing me and whatnot. And girls were looking that knew me and pointing, look, Roxanne, And when I told this guy was so upset, he literally just went, just went to zigzagging across the road, back and forth across the road, went over into a ditch and burst into tears. And then I tried to touch him. He said, don't touch me, get the out of my car. Wow. And that's one experience. I mean, I had fell in love with this guy. He loved me. I felt he loved me, but we had like a letters and long distance phone calls kind of love. And then when he found out, he was through with me. He said it devastated him. He actually threw up.
Real quick, 60 seconds, Tavares. Go ahead.
I just had a question. You know, for me, it's being in the gay community. I'm not that knowledgeable of transgender, and I just wanted to ask you personally. You know, is it? I feel like in the gay community, it's like division within the gay community, and for me, it can be hard to kind of relate to someone who's transgender because they seem, and I know that's bad to say it's a homosexual male, you know, but it's like I don't have that knowledge that I feel like I should. Do you get that, like that kind of hatred, not even just from
I get that, you know, but I can educate you, you know. I'm an educator. But yeah, I get that from a lot of the gay guys and stuff. You know, a lot of them, they, you know, like you were saying earlier, they feel like they're a little superior over the transgender girls. You know what I mean? The gay guys. You know, not the tweaks, not the flaming mamies, but you know, the gay guys. They you know, they treat us different because we carry ourselves as women. You know, we have 3 strikes. 1's gay, 2nd's transgender, 3rd black. So it's 3. So I have 3 obstacles I have to go through. You know, so it takes big balls to do that.
It is 52 minutes past the hour here on 91.9 FM WLJS Jacksonville. One of these last few minutes, I want to be able to discuss hate crimes in the LGBT community. It's a very famous case of a hate crime that many of our audience members, if you were born in the early 90s or were born in the 80s, and you probably are very familiar with this case. On October the 6th, 1998, a 21-year-old student at the University of Wyoming by the name of Matthew Shepard was kidnapped by then 21-year-old Aaron McKinney and 21-year-old Russell Henderson. He was driven to a remote area, robbed, pistol whipped, and tortured while being tied to a fence, and he was left to die. He was discovered by a passerby 18 hours later. According to an autopsy performed on Shepard, he had several fractures to the back of his head and in front of his right ear. He also experienced severe brain damage and nearly a dozen lacerations around his face, head, and neck. Now, doctors say that his injuries were too severe to be operated on, and he never regained consciousness once he was at the hospital. He was taken off life support and was pronounced dead shortly before 1 a.m. on October the 12th, 1998. Both McKinney and Henderson were arrested, charged, and found guilty of Shepard's murder and are now serving life sentences. And in a book that was released recently, they say that that Matthew Shepard was not killed because he was gay. The reason why they say in this new book that they believe that Matthew Shepard died was because they said that according to a jailhouse interview that was released with these 2 men, they say that the 2 men approached Shepard inside a bar, and McKinley asked Shepard for a cigarette. According to the book, Shepard says that he asked the 2 men to take him home because he was too drunk. Now, according to McKinney and Henderson, they were both high on meth for several days and that they asked Shepard for more drugs. According to the men, Shepard demanded sex in exchange for these drugs. Well, obviously, the 2 men declined, and they decided to rob Shepard instead. And then McKinney says in this new book that, quote, sometimes you have that rage going through you. There's nothing to stop it. So essentially they're saying that this was a drug-induced beating as opposed to a hate crime as it has been suggested throughout history. I'm guessing that you all, by the looks on your faces, you don't agree with the story at all.
I have a question for you, Ed. Is the book non-fiction or fiction? I mean, really?
Okay. Really? That's ridiculous.
I just have one question. Was it worth it? One person's dead, and you're in jail for life, and probably someone's BITCH.
My thing is, I feel as though that they were trying to get a lesser sentence for what they were doing. Because I feel that if they would have said, hey, it was for drugs, the sentence would be lower. Instead of trying to get a hate crime, would make the sentence higher. So that's what I feel. I think they tried to get it so they can get a lower sentence than what they got. But I feel all in all, they should get life.
Do you all worry that something like this could happen to any of you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You are worried that someone will try to hurt you?
Yeah.
I think it's important not to put your... I'm not saying that everyone that has had a hate crime has put themselves in these situations, but I think you definitely need to be aware of your surroundings and what you're getting yourself into.
I want to ask, especially for the men in the room, since this happened to a man, when you all are Tavares and Russell, Jayr and Sterling, when you all are out and about and you pass by a group of men, is there this feeling inside of you that these men will try to harm me?
No. I just, growing up through high school, I just didn't care what people thought or what they were going to do because, I don't know, it's just I have no problem with it, so.
Yes and no. One, you have to be aware of your surroundings before you go. That's why I walk around my neighborhood all the time. I need to know who on who block and what is going on. And then, yes, because, the people that you think one day they might just snap.
That's true. It's kind of one of those things that is as she said, the 3 strikes. I don't quite have the 3, okay, but I do have the 2. I do have the black and I do have the homosexual. So it's kind of one of those things to where my style is a little bit more non-traditional Alabama. So sometimes it's not even that. You have to think about what you're going to wear to certain parts, of the town, because I don't dress, like I guess a more considered thug or something. So, someone can perceive just the way I'm dressed. And I have gotten that, and it does make you, when you walking to your car or you walking away, it makes you worried because you never know what someone is thinking. And it's been plenty of times that I've seen on the news on the south side that someone has gotten beat up and
on the south side
of Birmingham. And that's an area that I'm in a lot. And that could be me. That could have been me that night walking home and could have got beat up. So it's just one of those things that you pray never happen, but it is a possibility.
It's 58 minutes past the hour. I want to be able to always conclude a program with people who may be out there listening to you all in very as few words as possible because we don't have a lot of time. What is something that you want to say to someone out there who could be struggling and unfortunately they don't have the platform to speak like you all do right now, like your guests that you all are on this program tonight? What are just in a few short, simple words that you would like to say to someone out there who may be listening, who could be struggling in the same place that you all are or have?
I have 3 words that I wish were told to me ages ago. It gets better. It does. It'll stop.
I will have to say, be yourself. Don't let anybody tell you that what you are doing is wrong.
Don't let those people who you see in the streets make you who you are, because at the end of the night when you lay down by yourself. You don't lay down with anyone else. So at the end of the day, you have yourself to go on. So love who you are, love yourself, and know that you are special, even if you are different. That's what makes you unique.
Keep your head up. It gets way better than what you think it is now.
I would just have to say to be yourself and tune out the negativity that may come your way. Be aware that it is there and it may always come to you, but as long as you are happy with yourself, there's no problem.
Become educated on your lifestyle.
Live your life and live it to the fullest.
God don't make no junk, and things change.
Well, I thank you all so much for being a part of this panel. I want to go ahead and just thank all of you all so much. Justine Billups, Courtney Johnson, Tavares K. Doizer, Russell Henson, Sam Bullard, Jayr Mars, Roxanne Demornay, and Sterling Fiering. We thank you all so much for being a part of this program. We hope that we've been able to help someone out there. Signing out to you live here at the Communications Building on the campus of Jacksonville State University in Jacksonville, Alabama. My name is Ed Moore III. This has been a WLJS News Special, Outfront, stories from the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender community. From all of us here in Jacksonville, good night.